Hello, manifestors. Long time no see. Let's talk about everyone is you pushed out today because I see still a lot of confusion, misinterpretation about everyone is you pushed out. That's why I made this whole week about this topic on my podcast, my blog article, and even the post on my Instagram all throughout the week. And here is the video. And by the way, none of my content is repetition. It's more like of an expansion of explaining the topic in different ways. All right? Because the way I speak and the way I write to start with is different. So you would never exactly get the same gist of any topic from my blog than you would do on my podcast or videos. And I'm not going to repeat here what I've said in the podcast. So if you want to know what everyone is you pushed out for good, stay tuned and watch all the way to the end. Please subscribe, like the video, comment if you liked it, so more people like you can become master manifestors. So, is everyone is you pushed out not a Neville Goddard's teaching? Because believe it or not, I have run into some so-called Neville Goddard's experts, teachers, not necessarily from coaches, but people who are proclaiming to be a Neville Goddard type expert, saying that this teaching is not from Neville. So I guess they have missed a few quotes from Neville. They have missed a few lectures from Neville and maybe a few books because it is. Okay, so to reassure yourself, if you've heard that somewhere and it confused you, to reassure yourself, yes, everyone is you pushed out is a teaching from Neville Goddard. And also, it only makes sense that it is because saying that everyone is you pushed out is not a fact. It's also not understanding the law altogether, Neville Goddard included or not. All right, so it's very important that when you hear stuff like this, you dismiss it. It's just from people who have not fully understood the law. But when it comes to Neville, is it not a Neville's teaching? Well, let's see if it's true or not by reading a couple of quotes. The world is yourself pushed out. Ask yourself, what do you want? And then give it to yourself. Do not question how it will come about. Just go your way, knowing that the evidence of what you have done must appear, and it will. Here is another quote from his lecture titled Life is a Dream from 1959, where he quotes Blake. The whole vast world is no more than men's imagining pushed out. I must qualify that by saying that the world outside of men is dead. Here's another one as well that I've used in my blog post. The moment you think of influence, you reduce a miracle to magic. All the people in the world are only yourself pushed out. So definitely, Neville taught that everyone is us pushed out. Everyone is you pushed out. Everyone is yourself pushed out. And the reason why everyone is you pushed out, it's because your consciousness is the only reality. So people who appear in your world are people reflecting your consciousness. Your consciousness is the same as your self-concept, who you believe that you are. That's your consciousness. So according to the level of your consciousness, which is the same as saying according to the level of your concept of yourself, You are going to manifest people in your world that are going to act exactly as a mirror. So if you look at yourself in the mirror and you don't like what you see, you do not blame the mirror, right? You fix yourself and then you look at yourself in the mirror again, and then you will like what you're seeing. It's the same thing with people. As a matter of fact, you can use the way people are treating you, the way people are acting in front of you, as a telltale sign of how you are doing. All right? Back in the days when I used to be a pure mess inside, when my self-concept was my own enemy, well, people reflected that very much so in my world. People were really acting like my enemies. It was not hard for me to understand this concept at all, because all I had to do, and that's what I did for a long, long time when I discovered the law, is reverse engineer my life, meaning going back to my life, step by step pretty much, and examining what happened and why did it happen. And the reason why I kept on manifesting the same kind of behavior from all the people that I ever met my whole life, from childhood to not so long ago, right? My whole life. When I realized, and it wasn't hard to realize it because the pattern was so strong, I realized that indeed people in my world, whether they were bosses, friends, acquaintances, family members, ex-husbands, ex-boyfriends, they all acted the same way. People that never knew each other in some cases, people into different continents. Why? Because the source of that was me. So whether I was hanging out in Europe or in America was the same thing. Whether it was male or female, whether it was someone I barely knew or someone I knew for years, they were all in the end acting the same way. And it's because they were me pushed out. Me, not someone else. So this is what it means when you hear everyone is you pushed out. Whether or not you believe it, whether or not you want it, it doesn't matter. What you are will be reflected by what you believe to be separated people from you. They will reflect you. And the reason why, it's because people seem to be separated because they are in different bodies. So they seem to be separated from you. But there is only one consciousness. It's because there is only one consciousness, one God that animates every body, that every one is your self pushed out. So a more correct way to say it would be everyone is yourself pushed out. We do say everyone is you pushed out, which is not as correct, but it does mean the same thing. But the true word is yourself. So it's the self. The self is reflected by other people. And that self, and that's the trick, it's not necessarily what you want. So that's why we see this with specific people all the time. You have that specific person of yours that is acting completely opposite of what you want. Because as Neville said, you don't manifest what you want, you manifest who you are, what you are. So it's the self that you are from within that is reflected by your SP. So if inside yourself you have the belief that you're not good enough, that someone else is better than you, that SP of yours has no choice. Because again, it's one consciousness in a different body. So that consciousness that is the same in him or in her as it is in you will be reflecting that. You, Jane, believe that you're not good enough. Well, your SP John has no other choices than to believe the same thing. So he's going to act in a way that is going to reflect that you're not good enough. This is what it means when we are talking about everyone being you pushed out. If you want your SP to change, if you want anyone in your world to change, you are the one to be fixed, and not them. And I don't even like the word fix, but you understand what I mean. This is why, again, Neville said there is no one to change but self. As long as you don't change the self, yourself, that other person, your SP in this case, since it's the case of many of you, will not change. So don't waste your time changing your SP. Spend the time instead changing you. Because by law, it's a must. It's a must that by changing you, you will change them. But I see this mistake so often still. People trying to change the SP. But don't waste your time. The only way you change other people is by changing you. Why is it that all the enemies that I used to manifest don't exist in my world anymore? Did I change? Do you think I spent and wasted my time changing all the thousands of bad people I used to manifest? No, because I even forgave them. I know they have nothing to do with anything but me. So I changed me. So either those people changed towards me or they completely disappeared, and now the new people that I manifest, they have nothing in common with the kind of people I used to manifest. So it's never about the other people, even if it really seems to be this way. But you have to understand that this whole 3D world is a bunch of illusions. It's all illusions. Illusion upon illusion. So this is why you have the huge illusion that people are separated from you, number one, and that they are acting upon their own accord, and they're not. They are acting upon what you believe about yourself. So what you need to do starting now, what I help all my clients to do, is to work on themselves first. Don't even, as a matter of fact, if you feel that there's still quite a bit of things that needs to be changed in you, don't waste your time with a specific person at this point. Because whether you know them or not, whether you are manifesting someone you know or someone you don't know yet, whatever's going on in you right now, if it's not to your liking, they're going to reflect it. They are. They will. Trust me. Trust me. I have so much experience in that. You have no idea. So that's all for today, guys. I hope this Everyone Is You Pushed Out video is helping. Please be sure you give a read to my blog post and a listen to my podcast. And also follow me on Instagram. People really love my daily posts, not just this week, but every week. Thank you for listening, guys. Subscribe, like, share, and comment. And I'll see you next time. Bye-bye for now.